What's up guys, it's Setapak, and today we're going to check out Kenwingston's Platz in Gombak or Setapak lah. Let's go! Hey guys, today we are here to document another phenomenon that is happening within KL city centre as land within the city centre is getting really scarce. We have witnessed a lot of Sentul, right? Where the kampung Sentul suddenly becomes like a mega development township altogether. This Jalan Gombak that is in between Jalan Pahang and Jalan Kenting Klang, this is also similar. And if you look into the typologies around, it's still very low dense in terms of the surrounding. You have a lot of old houses, old commercial areas, mansions that is sitting on a large piece of land. After the new highway of Duke branches into this main spot, suddenly it somewhat like ignited the demand for this space. Is this one main road that is within 3 lanes wide, connecting the entire kampung all together. So this will be the main road, and the only way right now that they are controlling traffic is using traffic light. So they're going to have the same problem like Sentul, where the congestion is going to happen. Also, everything is leveraging on the main road. So you have schools, you have shops, you have projects all branching out from the main road. So your main road is going to be like never-ending stops. This will be the main Jalan Gombak connecting over to the school. Then we are just right next to Petronas. There will be a branch in here going into the project. We have a lot of shops. You can see the main tenant here is also doing the ceiling works already. But one very important point to add here, although if you have shop lots around the same development, it definitely adds convenience to it. But looking at KL Traders Square, this is going to be a very convenient parking spots for parents while waiting for their children to come out from school. So it's only a matter of time when this entrance is going to be very congested. After coming out from the commercial area, this will then be the main drop-off. Right next to it, there's this amazing big piece of land right next to us that is under construction as well. So in terms of flooring materials, you can see pavers, then brickworks, then stone slates. That's nice. You have these bronze surfaces, right? Timber ceiling for the drop-off, stone walls. So driving past the security guard house, there will be a U-turn into the drop-off. The entrance is very nice, I must say. Because from the outside, right, you won't notice that it's going to be so nice because you want privacy for your residents, and I like that they kind of tucked in the entrance into the development. About town planning, as we mentioned just now, we have such a high density project here. Next to site, we will still have landed home. It's very difficult to kind of estimate what's going to happen, because just imagine if you buy a home here, you renovate very nicely, right in front of you will be a mega development. Never know. So from the drop off, you have tone textured flooring, you have water shallow area to soften the whole texture. You have the bronze finishes around. This feels very luxurious coming in. Look at the lobby, you have some sitting areas at the side. We have all these different texture play within the setting. So you also have a concierge space. The width is nice, it's open air, just like a hotel. And when you come into a lift lobby, because they partition it using a glass door, this is the first time we have fans. That is so cool. And the timber finish is also very consistent. So far, so very good. Because when you really park the car just like at the commercial area, you really wouldn't expect something like this to actually appear within the development. So coming out from the lift, this will be the lift lobby of the floor plate. The width is 3.6 meters. The height then is only 2.6. But they still continue with the material choices. So you have this very innovative, that's the word, I think innovative, where they mix and match different profiles of tiles together. And usually we will see this in like swimming pools or bathrooms. But in the lift lobby, it looks kind of cool. Like This looks like a solid surface for kitchen cabinets, but they use it on the lift profile. It works too. Then for the lift lobby, the only source of light will be this window profile. And here we can start to see the growing density of the address. You can see the old landed houses around, right? Then the mushrooming high rises that is booming. Then we can see a brand new development. It's so weird that we have side-to-side buildings that is so compact, that is so dense. But then at the far end, we have all the landed. But what's more 可怜 are those houses. Imagine being sandwiched by a high-rise in the front and a high-rise in the back. Ooh. So within this floor plate, there's 7 units serviced by 3 passenger lift, 1 fire lift, and this corridor is a double loaded corridor where you have units on both sides. Then there will be some voids within. Okay. Then at the end of the lift lobby, this will be the main access into the corridor. How I wish there will be a ramp here. When people move stuff, it's going to be way more convenient, and this will be the corridor. So the width of the corridor is 1.75, the height is 2.7. It's rather dark because we are in one of the lower floor units. So to be exact, this is like 2 levels above the facilities deck, and you will understand what I'm going to say later. Anyway, they still continue on with the material choices on the floorings. Walking around, I see that there's no unit facing each other within the corridor. So like every household when you come out, right, there's no unit or door at the main opposite. That's very nice in terms of privacy. But one weird thing is the refuse is located at the furthest end within the lift lobby, and it's rather small, okay? But I think it's good where you have a corner here that is well ventilated, right? But when the smell comes out, I'm not too sure. But it's the shortest distance away to the service lift lah, so I guess it's okay. But looking at the wall finishes, right, it's really not as presentable as the ground floor experience just now. Let's be straight up. And there will be a short foyer here. You cannot put your shoe cabinets outside, so it's going to be inside. And let's go check out the unit. So coming into the unit, this door is rather huge. So on clearance wise, it's 1.07 meters, and they are using an 8 feet door, so it's around 2.4 meters in height. Very nice to the unit. And immediately you will have your kitchen tucked on the side with the yard space, dining, living, balcony, and 2 bedrooms. But before that, so this will be the unit that we're going to check out today. 650 square feet. 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom unit. When you come in, so it's as direct as you can see. Okay, very compact. Coming in from the entrance, the wall-to-wall width here is 3.15 meters. That's very spacious. And this will be the kitchen. This is a 1.6 meters kitchen, so you have a 2 burner and a basin located here. Then you will have the backsplasher that is actually wall tiles up to 5 feet. Okay, plug points. And I'm not too sure whether is this provided. I think this comes not with the development, but I'm not too sure. Then you have a fridge here, and then this gives access to the yard space behind, and it's very big. So it's really just an outdoor space for you to put in a washing machine. I'm not too sure whether this come with a dryer. This is very tight. The debate here then, do you need this yard space, or is it just okay to extend the kitchen all the way, then have this sorted out within the kitchen space? Coming out from the kitchen, this will be the living space, and the ceiling height is actually 2.8 meters, so it doesn't feel as narrow because I think the width is very well done. So if you look into the property portal, the selling price I think for this unit back then was around 360,000, and the asking rent for this unit itself is going to be 2,001 per month. And when the width is around 3.15 meters, right, after you put in the TV cabinet, the table, the sofa, you still have sufficient space to go around. Heading over to the balcony space. and this will be the view that you get. So this is a 2 feet balcony space. You have steel handrails. That's the reality of living next to the main road. The noise is real, especially when we are located very close to the school, right? So the traffic congestion will be in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. And very similar to the Sentul, the kampung Sentul setting, we will never know when the adjacent land will be sold and transacted, then it will transform into a high-rise. It's only a matter of time because based on accessibility and distance to the CBD, this is considered very reasonable. At this price range, imagine like you stone throw away Titi Wangsa to the Jalan Hospital around Expressions Road, right? Jalan Tun Razak. This is not that far away actually. Next to that, this will be the corridor into the 2 bedrooms here. This will be the shared bathroom and it's full height wall tiles, no shower screen. You have Sorrento basin and WC, a small little window here for ventilation. And just now I tried a little bit. This is, I don't think this is accuracy lah. So yeah. Then adjacent to the facade, this will be the principal bedroom, but this design looks rather old, right? Because they want to preserve the principal bathroom to be attached to the facade. That kind of eats up the space for the frontage, but anyway, after having the bathroom, the width here is 3 meters by 3.6 meters. You see a very comfortable space for a principal bedroom. After putting in the queen size bed, you still have so much circulation space around, along with a huge window. Not floor to ceiling, but I think it's sufficient, right? So it's around 2 feet above ground, 1 feet below ceiling. Nice. But one thing to note, because this is a corner unit, right? This wall is also the facade. So that gives opportunity for an opening on this wall as well. When you open the door, right, I like that they leave a little bit of spaces so I can still put up a shelf here. So full height wall tiles, no shower screen, similar to the toilet outside, Sorrento basin and WC. But I don't understand the tones of this. Like, they did so well in the entrance lobby, they did so well in the lift lobby, but why? Yeah, next to that, this will then be the last bedroom, and it's smaller in size, but the window is nice. But then you have overlooking issues. So the wall-to-wall width here is 2.1 meters only. That's why you can just fit in a single bed. Then you can actually put a desk here. You can barely squeeze in the cabinet for wardrobe. Ceiling height, yes, here then you can really feel it. When your width is really not great, right, you can really feel the height creeping on you. But thank goodness the window size is big, and this level then becomes very sensible as you can place the bed towards it. If it's a floor to ceiling height kind of window, no point. Anyway, I guess that's all for the unit. It's a very direct one, a very compact one. For a 650 square feet, this feels nice because the main spaces such as the living and dining is 3.15 meters. That's great. In terms of the master bedroom, you have 3.6 meters width against 3 meters. Very nice. Living space, very sufficient. Cool. So let's go check out the facilities then. Hey guys, now we are at the elevated car park and we are at the highest floor elevated car park right below the facilities deck. And most of the time this is the highest ceiling. So sometimes when you think like, oh, when you are located within the highest floor of car park, you need to drive so high, right? But actually the ceiling height will be way better because you need to accommodate to all these mechanical things. Anyway, it's all cement screeding. They're using conventional columns and beams because the structure is not as huge. Something to point out within the surroundings. So this is the adjacent development that we see. It's coming up very fast, and this is the happening glitch that we see, right? Suddenly you renovate your house so nicely, then in front and next to you will be the brand new towers all together, all the way to the end. Ah, yeah. Then that will be the Trader Square that is doing really well in terms of commercial. You can see it's packed, it's full of cars. And what you can see right now, that will be the traffic building up next to the school already. Because it's almost noon time, children are coming out already and it's happening. Yeah, so that will be the environment that you need to go through if you stay and work at home. So if you go to the office, so it's okay. And any moment of time, this will be converted into developable land and you have another one power. Any moment of time that can happen. That's the risk of this location. So now we are in the podium level of facilities and the treatments again, it's very unique. Like there's a lot of stones here to create that very nice texture around. It's not your usual kind of treatments for a facility stack, but you have the swimming pool that is in organic outlines, so there's no straight lines. This one is more of a contrast to the existing hard lines that we see. But in terms of swimming, right, it's very hard to swim because, well, how many people actually do swim laps, right? So in terms of hardscape, you have a lot of very playful seating areas like that. Then you have somewhat like a walking path or a jogging path. Then you have landscape islands around. You have the Kambojas, you will have the heavenly birds, right? Then in terms of ceiling, they conceal it using the mesh. Quite nice because usually at this level you have a lot of mechanical elements, so under certain lighting situations you won't see them. This will be a very nice children play area. And the favorite part of it is actually shaded, so even during rainy days, I can bring my kid down and he can go crazy, just burn off his energy like that. This is nice. You have the jungle trail walk here, you will have the climbing structure, swings, slides, nice. And of course the floor, they use the rubber tiles to prevent concussion if there's any impact. And for the boundary, they use glass railing to kind of open up the vista instead of being enclosed, right? Nice, very nice. Then on an elevated floor, I think because of the mechanical requirements, they somewhat need that difference in level, right? They leverage it and made it into a yoga / Tai Chi deck. It's just an empty space. Of course, it's still better than a pure concrete one. They add in timber finishes with some tiles to add texture to it. So just now the unit there at the second floor, right, looks really nice with this view. And by choosing at this unit, right, you don't have to pay the floor premium, but just when like the developer plant trees or whatsoever, you can enjoy the foliage. Then going back to the swimming pool, right, you have this difference in level and they timber decked it, so there's a small slope walk down into the edge. Then this gives it that infinity edge feel to it, but again the view towards it will be the kampung. Again, I really like the slate textures around and the glass railing again. Then for the pool area, this will be the walk path into the pool area. I think this is also the jacuzzi area, and the texture of tiles that they use is nice, right? And it's a curved setting in. So located next to the pool, this will be the gym. It's huge. So the cardio machines are located close to the facade facing outwards. There will be 2 treadmills and these are furnished by Spirit. It's very bright in terms of opening, and that will be the studio space for dancing or yoga whatsoever. Then this will be furnished by Extracts machines. Your free weight zone along with the rack. That's nice. So now the gyms are really well furnished compared to those older formats of gym. And I guess this will be the indication of the target audience as well, will be younger crowds, younger families and things like that. Because if, I'm panting, if you look into the gym equipment, if you look into the playground setting, very nice. Besides that, there's also an outdoor area, where this is more for the elderly, I think. So you can actually just chill and work out a little bit, but here feels warmer. But I really like that the developer took effort in cladding the whole area up. I'm not too sure whether is it a good choice. Is it better to leave it open? But then you will have rain issues, then that will damage the timber finishes. But the structural elements, right, it's very apparent. And now we are under a sunken deck, right? The deck yoga tai chi that will be up there. This will be the futsal and basketball court. And regardless of weather, you can play. That's nice. So it comes with the ventilation system. The windows are actually cladded up. Then next to this will be a squash court. Wow, but you can see it's already leaking, so they will need to fix that. But it's still nice though. And now we are at the rooftop facilities, and based on the amount of facilities that they give, right, versus the scale and stuff, against their number of units, which is like around 849 units only, I think it's very, very generous. Of course, like when you look around, material-wise, scale-wise, specification-wise, practicality-wise, it's there. Just that you don't feel as refined around the edges. Maybe just because this is a project that went through the pandemic, right? They kind of rush things a little bit and they are impacted by the heavy cost increase and things like that. So they only need to cut edges here and there. But I think if they were given enough time and resources, right? An immediate thing I would wish for is a better landscape treatment. But now it's not that I'm complaining. This kind of treatment is actually not cheap. So around the open area, you will have some circular sitting areas, and this will be very nice in the evenings, and you are actually having the view of the reach. So that will be the KL East reach already, and you can see the whole Titi Wangsa Banjaran. Very nice. And then this will be the barbecue area. So this is what I meant by having a better refinement to things will definitely elevate the whole project up. Like workmanship wise, not there in terms of texture and all, but actually the intent is there, the design is there. Just need a little bit more time. So while calling for a party here, a gathering here, you can have your sitting areas here, a covered one. That will be the lounge, the private dining zone. This structure is amazing, and the backdrop will be the KL skyline. Woo! But then at the forefront will be the kampung, right? So you can see now that will be the Jalan Gombak heading over to Duke Highway, and that will be the main highway that can bring you to the rest of the city. So if you can endure this pathway every day, then this would be a good place. Then on the other side of the rooftop, right, there's this open stage area. I don't know stage to what, most likely stage to the KL skyline background, and this is very nice. Imagine when you come back from home, you just need a quiet space to just tone and chill and rewind back, right? You have all this sitting area along with the pussy willows, and then you have a glass trail. Whoa, this is scary. Okay, you have this glass trail if you are more of an excitement seeker. And I guess that's all for this review. It's now time for Sean's take 3 on 3. So for the first 3 things I like, number 1 will be the common area design treatments. So the very first space that caught me by surprise totally, right, will be the entrance lobby. So I like that they kept the main facade for the commercial zone, and when you come in, then you have this entrance that is a little bit more private, a little bit more hidden, and when you drive past, it's absolutely like a hotel drop-off. You have the open seating areas, and you have a very generous concierge. The ceiling height is nice, the lift lobby treatments are nice. Then when you come into the facilities deck, it's also okay. There are certain angles and spaces where it looks amazing, and the variety of facilities provided, such as the futsal court, squash court, then the gym that is so huge, then the rooftop visitors lounge, the meditation area, and this open stage area, right, along with a transparent trail of tempered glass bridge, right. It adds a lot of excitement to such project, because if you drive past this project from the outside, you won't know that it's so exciting. And that leads to point number 2, the value for money then becomes very good. For a project that's around 360,000, I think when it's launched, so now I look at the property portal, it's around 400 over 1,000. So this unit is going to be rented out around 2,000, 2,001 per month. And if you think about it, in terms of ROI, it's quite healthy. And very close to point number 2 is also then point number 3, which is the distance to the city. You are technically 2 turns away from Jalan Tun Razak, passing by Jalan Kening Klang and Jalan Bahang, right? So if you consider the price against the accessibility, and if you actually work in Mont Kiara or whatever, the access to Duke Highway is actually very close. So with that in mind, actually that explains the demand for rent here. And it's very difficult to imagine the selling price, right? When we walk past the entrance lobby, you wanna expect that the common areas are so nice, it's so close to CBD at this price range. Then the 3 things I don't like, number 1 will be the setting of the township currently. So this is very similar to Sentul, and it's only going to be like Sentul if this continues to develop, where when you can see within the city center there are still a lot of kampung areas, and when the highways are actually opened up, Jalan Gombak suddenly becomes a main road, and all lands adjacent to the main road will be hot pieces of land to be developed. So this is an example, and right next to the development we can see similar projects ongoing already. So there's going to be tower over tower over tower, and there's something very important for buyers to take note, especially when you pick orientation. So the best is to still face outwards instead of inwards, because you will never know any moment of time any land can be transacted and a new tower will be erected. And because of that, the second thing to take note will be the old infrastructure. So because this is still a kampung setting, and the only most advanced infrastructure will be the main road. So when everybody is just using this main road, there are just too many branch out from the road itself. You branch out to the petrol station, to development, branch out to schools, branch out to whatever lah, before you actually hit the highway. So there's going to be a congestion every morning, every evening when you leave the location. And when the development is so close, which is like right next to the road also, you will have a lot of noise that comes with it. And last but not least, there are actually a lot of similar projects around the location. A stone throw away, you also have Sentul already, and pretty much the project or product types are very similar around the same range as well, and all are actually leveraging on the same unique selling points, which is the distance to the city, the amount of facilities at a price range that is way more affordable. But looking at the design treatments of the project, this is targeting a lot on young families and young adults. So a young couple, right, this is very sufficient. And after you stay here for 5 years, right, you can actually just rent out. After all, do I like the project? Yes, I like it a lot. But how I wish that the developer could have a little bit more time to work on the refinement of the treatments, because the intent is there, the design material specification, everything is in place. Maybe the execution is a little bit too rushed due to the pandemic. I guess that's all for this round. If you really like this episode, like it, share, and even subscribe for more information like this. Until next time, this is Sean Tan. Ciao.